you can't fake the why she's so vibe. You can't
You
like
really can't, yeah.
you have to do that. You bring up like these like impactful moments that ultimately come from like the environment and truly the music.
Hmm.
You brought up like you like interview people prior to your
Yeah.
events and that sort of thing. Are there other ways that you're intentional about like motivating the the vibe or like the priority at your events?
Yeah, I think, yeah, definitely the interviews are so like huge for me because, as someone who's been going out and, different collectives that are you've been hosting events like long before I started doing it. It's like, yeah, I'll go and I'll do my research, my own research on the artists. Like, okay, if I've heard of them or not, I'm like, okay, let me see what this artist has been up to, before I go, so I can kind of get a good feel of what to expect. And, a lot of it you get just like, hey, here's the flyer. Maybe you'll get the set times and just kind of like pull up, and there's like maybe some, that personal touch was like missing. So that's why I wanted to do the podcast, so you could get to know the artist before showing up. But I
Yeah.
also think about, for me, like I run my project on my own. Like I'm a all in one, like one woman show. Like I do the bookings, I do like the space securing. I pull up. What I don't do is do all the lifting. So I do shout out to my homies that have, nice upper body strength that can come and help me move in stuff if I need to, if it's more of a DIY situation. But, running it on my own, it definitely is a lot, but it's meaningful to me because when I do kind of post like, hey, I have these events coming through, like I'm personally reaching out to a lot of people, which is like super hard to do, like because it's
Mhm.
mostly just kind of like, paying for ads or like marketing, or maybe just, blasting out invites like on Facebook or whatever. There's so many ways to do it, or like, texts, like marketing texts and campaigns, and all of that is like super great. And I have used that, but I still really love the whole like, hey, what's up? Like, have this event coming up. I try to really make it personal. And I'm not doing like events monthly, so I can space it out. So it's like, okay, when I first started, I was doing it maybe more frequent, or like kind of the first half of the year, I was like, okay, I'm going to prioritize some here and there bookings. And then the second half, I want to dive into like why she's so, and like, that.
Mhm.
But I think me spacing it out and it being like a once a quarter, twice a quarter allows me to, be more intentional in those kind of personal invites. And I think it goes a long way. It's like, hey, I have this artist coming out, just dropped an interview. Here's some like dope songs I like by them. Like, just a heads up, this is what I have kind of coming along like in the pipeline. And I feel
Mhm.
like people feel that because it's like, a lot of people, I mean, even if they don't know the artist that I'm bringing, I've gotten feedback like the community trusts you. Like people trust you and they know like whoever you're going to bring, it took some time to like think about it, to confirm it. It's intentional, and we're going to
Mhm.
show up. We're going to pull up and we're going to listen even if we have no idea like who it is and if I'm putting people on. And that was like such a huge compliment, that someone like gave me. It was like an OG, like in the scene here, to hear like people trust you, and that's why they pull up and they feel like it's a safe space. They feel like, you are all over this event. Like you can feel you in the walls of like, hey, like you really curated this. And that's all I want. It's like boutique curations, like dope artists in small venues, and me just really all up in there. So I think that's helped kind of make it more intentional, and help people feel like it's a personal experience when they like come to some of my events.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think um as like dance music gets more more corporate,
Hmm.
more like profit centric in certain areas,
Yeah.
it seems like the path away from that is like the human element, the intention, the soul
Yeah.
of an event.
Yeah.
It seems like you can't really cut corners on that. You
You
can't like
can't.
you have to do the work that you're talking about.
Yeah.
You have to be in the weeds, like making decisions, whether it's the aesthetic, whether it's the promo materials, whether it's like the actual experience itself.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Because it's like, I do this because I love it. I really do love it. And it's like, I wanna, continue to contribute to the culture, and I wanna bring artists that have never played here before, and I wanna have a memorable night. Like, that's literally all I want, you know? So I feel like people can feel that, and they know that's just what it's about for me. It's not about profit. It's not about any of that. It's like, pull up, you're gonna be in a safe space, and you're gonna listen to some good music, and that's it, you know? So
I love it.
yeah,
I love it. That's so cool.
for
All right,
sure.
so I want just especially being that you've spent time in New York and
Yeah.
are very present in Atlanta.
Mhm.
What would you say the differences in the scenes are? Obviously, like maybe one's more developed than the other, but
Yeah.
like a from like a vibe perspective, for lack of a better description, how would you
Yeah.
describe each of the scenes?
Yeah. No, definitely, of course, New York is definitely more of a veteran in like the house realm. And Atlanta definitely has grown a lot. Like as we were talking about, like I feel like there's so many more artists that want to come through here. There's a lot more collectives and venues. Like there's just a lot. So I'm really proud of what the city has going on and how much it's grown, and it'll continue to grow. I
Totally.
think kind of the main differences between Atlanta and New York is just surely like the amount of people, like truly, like it is a massive place. So it's like here, if there's a couple collectives like throwing a party, you know, they might be successful. One might really suffer because there's just like purely not enough heads for the amount of things happening versus in New York, like you'll find like 100 things on Resident Advisor for one night. And I don't think, I mean, people might be stressing if it's like two bigger venues doing, something on the same night, but it's just surely, I feel like the amount of people really makes a difference. And just, yeah, just I feel like house music's like in the air there. Like it's intertwined, it's in the bodegas, it's in like the restaurants are it's just like in the air, like music I feel like is really intertwined in like a lot of places, especially like in Brooklyn. That's where like a lot of the venues that I play have been at. But yeah, I just feel like it's not much of a you don't not here that you have to like kind of educate and put people on, but there it is still kind of a newer, genre that people are open to. I mean, we're in the South, we're in the, hip hop like rap capital of like the world. And,
Mm,
while house music or dance music and hip hop rap, I mean, there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of intertwining there, from the get-go, like in the origination. I feel
yeah.
like it will take some more time here to, continue to put people on the sound and to continue to like have people be open to checking out a dance music event, and it's definitely a lot easier now to get that, happening versus in New York. I feel like it's kind of like an understood thing. It's like you think and then you go there and you really don't, and it's like people are putting you on when you thought you knew like a lot. It's like actually every time I go there, I'm like, oh, great, like cool art, new artists, like new venue. Like I just can't keep up. So I think, yeah, the sheer amount of people, just that the
Mm,
history of like house music, like in the city, they're definitely ahead of us in that regard. And I feel like people just understand the mission when they walk in the door. They hear house, they already know what's up. It's kind of, expected, where people are pulling up. So I think those
yeah.
are the main things.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. You're making me think about this because in Nashville we battle with a similar thing. Obviously, we're much more country leaning than rap, but it's a similar thing to where it's not the mainstream culture, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a beauty to that because if people show up to it, they a lot of times really want to be there. But
Yeah.
from like like a financially sustainable or even just culturally sustainable
Yeah.
perspective, it's really hard to like make it work,
Mm-hmm.
make it work consistently.
Yeah.
And you know, New York, to your point, there's what 9 million people there during the day or something.
Millions,
Yeah,
you
so
know?
there's a couple hundred people are going to pull up no matter what.
Yeah, so it's just a little easier, but I think that's what makes like, Atlanta and the South like, beautiful in that way. It's like the people are pulling up, you might have worked a little bit harder to get them to pull up, but I feel like, it just keeps growing and it's a lot more personal because it's not as big. Like it's kind of like this knit community that you can like reach out and like actually like feel like you can touch someone a lot more personally than like, okay, yeah, I can go play a set in New York to hundreds of people, but it's like they're doing, it's not that it's not personal. I think there are some advantages to having a newer community that you can see your direct impact and influence on because it's still in the growth and it's going to continue to grow and will never be as big as a place, like New York, surely because of the amount of people that can like fit in the cities that we're in. So I feel like there's a beauty to being a part of it, in smaller cities that are growing like in that world because you can see directly how you're, contributing to it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's the feedback I always get from people when they come to play Nashville is that there's like kind of the community is tangible. Uh,
Yeah.
and I even feel it too. Like when I go to major markets and I'm coming back to Nashville,
Yeah.
there's like a certain warmth that you come back to that there's just a community felt there.
Exactly.
And so I
100%. And your community is lucky to have you. Like Nashville is lucky to have you guys,
oh
contributing, bringing great talent, like putting on for the city.
man,
Truly.
well, likewise,
Yeah.
you're doing your thing.
Thank you.